friends, Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, and I am so excited to be sharing another book with you guys. Actually, today's really cool because today is going to be a series, and it's going to be a dystopian series, which, of all things, is one of my very favorite genres. Even though it's sort of weird because this genre usually leaves you an emotional wreck, but it is usually, I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, always worth it, because there's still sometimes those dystopian stories that really hit you in the gut and then they just leave you all broken and crushed on the floor. Today's series was not one of those series, and I am so thankful. It's actually one of my favorite dystopian series because it's just so very, very, very hopeful. Even when all these things are happening, it's just, there's still this hopeful thread that just shines so bright, which is why I love dystopian so much. But before I keep gushing and rambling about how awesome this series is, let me introduce you to it. That series is the Slave series by Laura Francis. I have one of the first paperbacks, so the cover has changed. Here are all the gorgeous covers. I love them so very much. I love the font. I love the text where the font is placed on the cover. Just absolutely gorgeous. These books are phenomenal, and I really, really want them in paperback. Really, really bad. This one I'm really excited is actually signed. I won it in a giveaway a few years ago. I've read it 2 times already, maybe 3, but I definitely know 2 times. And I've read Hero, the second book, 2 times. And the night before filming this video, I finished Remnant, and it was a phenomenal ending to this series. It was, I want to say everything I wanted, but I cried through the whole thing, guys. I cried through the whole thing. I cried when there were sad moments. I cried when there were happy moments, and sometimes I even cried when there were sort of like frustrating moments because, whew, it was hard. It was hard. This dystopian is really unique. I know there's been talk that dystopian is all sort of the same. They all feel the same, and though they might have maybe some similar vibes, this series I felt was very different because it really tackles fear. Hannah's anxiety, Hannah's our main character, the fear and the anxiety she feels towards the Watchers. There's a war that's brewing, and now it's on the brink of revolution. You see that war progress through the series until the very end, and I'm not going to exactly say what happens because I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, so I might focus a little bit more on Slave, the first book, because there's less spoilers. I feel like this story is so unique and so powerful in the sense that Hannah has to interact with these Watchers during this war, during this revolution, and seeing her overcome those fears and those things that have been ingrained in her to actually come to a place where she can care for these Watchers and forgive them for past wrongs, for things they've done, because they have done some horrible things. And that's part of why the workers are also so incredibly terrified because of what these things that the Watchers are doing. So that all of those interactions together and the healing that takes place, the love that blooms and the forgiveness that's given is so overwhelmingly powerful. It's amazing, especially considering the anxiety. Like, I've read books that have a character that really struggles with anxiety or really struggles with fear, but I have never read one that is so intense as Hannah's. That anxiety is so real. Wow. I mean, there's fear usually always in dystopian, and the characters are usually, there's something going to change and turn their world upside down. This story is no different in that aspect. But the anxiety that she feels and how she just overcomes it is amazing. It is one of the best parts of the series. Definitely have your tissues ready for this whole thing because this journey really does pull the heart. It pulls at that of you wanting to personally be brave, to personally overcome your own fear and anxiety and in situations in your own life. At least I could say that for me, that I just found Hannah to be a very inspiring character in how she handles things. There's a character in the third book who's like, I don't know how you did the things you did. And Hannah's like, well, anybody would have done it in my situation. They're like, no, not anybody would have done the things that you did. I highly recommend this series. If you love dystopian, it is phenomenal. Be prepared to sob, be prepared to cry, but be prepared for one of the most hopeful threads I've read in a dystopian series. Even when things seem to be falling apart and there's so much pain, like there was a point where I just was like, I don't know how much more I can take. Like the character is just enduring so much, and I am so glad that I stuck with it because man, that hope, it is so bright, it's so beautiful, and that thread, that hope never leaves. There's never a moment where you can't feel hope on the page. So if you love dystopian and you're looking for a more hopeful dystopian, I definitely recommend this series. Also, if you're looking for characters who struggle with anxiety and can feel very relatable, I definitely recommend this story as well. It is a phenomenal story of overcoming fear, of being brave, of prevailing even during really hard times. Thank you so much for watching. Totally let me know if you've read this series. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye!